Oh, are we on the air?
Hey gang, it's Bryan from FXBilliards. Today I'm going to talk to you about picking the right Predator Revo for you. If you are a fan of this channel, you know that I love the Predator Revo. I've done probably about 6 or 7 videos talking about the Revo, and today I'm going to talk to you about buying the right Revo for you. At least a dozen of you have hit me in the comments or emails and told me that you bought a Revo as a result of my recommendation. And the rest of you who are about to buy one or you're on the fence, I wanted to give you some information as far as picking the right Revo for you. Let's go through 4 or 5 different things you're going to have to decide on to make sure you get the right shaft for your situation. The first thing you're going to have to decide is if you have a number of different types of butts for your cues, which cue are you going to put it on? I do recommend, since you're getting an elite shaft, that you put it on your favorite cue if you have a number of different brands. But whatever brand you have, unless it's some ridiculously inexpensive, no-name brand, you are going to find a Revo joint that fits the cue. Next thing you're going to need to decide is, do you want to go with a black or white vault plate? When the shaft was originally introduced, it only came out in the black vault plate, but today, you have a choice between the two. Some players at the time were concerned about the black vault plate because they didn't feel that they had the reference that they got from having a white ferrule, as you see on most playing cues. I found that the black vault plate actually gave me more separation from the cue ball and made aiming better. But you have a choice these days between the white and the black vault plate. I am fortunate enough to have both cues. I have the white vault plate and I have the black vault plate, and I interchange them almost daily, using one for a video and then using a different one for another video, playing matches with one, playing matches with another. They both have the same tip size on them, which I will talk about later on, and I don't find any difference. I've never miscued as a result of the vault plate. I've never misaimed as a result of the black or white vault plate, but if you have a preference, that is one decision you're going to need to make. Now, one of the most important decisions you're going to have to make, and the one that might give you the most pause, is what size shaft are you going to get? The Revo shaft comes in 3 different diameters: 11.8 millimeter, 12.4, and 12.9. Let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of each size to help you make the right choice for your playing style. Starting with the 11.8, this is the smallest of the 3 shafts, and the advantages of the 11.8 millimeter shaft is that you do get more accuracy out of the 11.8. You do get lower deflection out of the 11.8, and you can put more spin on the ball with the 11.8. So your first thought is, especially as a beginner or intermediate player, why wouldn't I get the 11.8? Well, there's a downside to every upside, isn't there? One of the things that you're going to see with the 11.8 is that your shot, your stroke, your position on the cue ball is going to have to be more precise. So you have the upside of greater accuracy, but you have the downside of the need to be more precise on the cue. And this should be apparent to you because if you can put more spin on the ball with the 11.8, you can also put more unwanted spin on the ball at 11.8. So then there is the largest, which is the 12.9. The 12.9 is the most powerful. It's the shaft that will allow you to put the least amount of effort into your shot. The 12.9 millimeter is also going to be the most forgiving. What I mean by that is if you are a little bit off to the left or the right on your shot, the 12.9 will cause you fewer misses than something like the 11.8. And it does come in a pro taper, which I highly recommend. I really enjoy shooting with a pro taper. If you don't know what that means, it means throughout your entire stroke, the cue diameter is going to feel the same throughout your entire warm-up stroke, follow-through, and everything. And then there is the 12.4, and this, by the way, is what I play with. Both my Revo shafts are 12.4 millimeter, and since I've owned them, any other shafts that I purchase, I try to get as close to this 12.4 as I can, and sometimes that means having a cue brought down to that area from a higher diameter. So the 12.4, what do you get? You have the most versatility. The 11.8 has the accuracy, the 12.9 has the power. The 12.4 simply allows you to do more things. It falls right in the middle of the group, and it is a break-even point if you are on the fence and you're looking at which direction you should go. It's also a very good diameter if you're coming from a much thicker diameter shaft. If you're coming from something that is 13 millimeters, for example, 12.9 would be the easiest to adjust to, but I can tell you the 12.4 is close enough that it is an easy adjustment. I came from a much thicker shaft to the 12.4 and had no problem making the adjustment. You get more versatility with the 12.4. It is the easiest of the three to play with, and it also comes with the Pro Taper. The 12.4, once again, is what I use. The next thing you need to look at is tip. What kind of tip do you want to get on your cue? Soft, medium, hard, extra soft? People ask me every single day of the week. Someone asks me about what kind of tip I use, what kind of tips I recommend. If you buy a Predator Revo shaft, the default tip is going to be a Victory tip. Now, I can tell you that when I originally bought my first Predator Revo shaft, what I did was I took the tip that it came with and played it down for about 6 months, and I put a Kamui soft on it because that's what I had played with prior. Now, having done a test with the Victory and the Kamui, I find that they play very close to each other, but one advantage with the Victory, there's actually a couple advantages. Let's talk about one advantage. After a 6-month time period and the same amount of reps, the Victory tip seemed to last longer than the Kamui tip. So a soft Victory tip lasted longer than a soft Kamui tip. So I really like that with the Victory tips. And because of the color of the Victory tips, I seem to get more separation on the shots as far as the cue ball versus where the cue ends and the tip begins. So I have stuck with the Victory tip and recently had all my cues changed over, even my backup cue, to Victory tips. That's my preference. I do recommend you go with soft. In worst case scenario, you go with medium because you are spending a lot of money for low deflection. And if you get a hard tip or a cheap tip, for God's sakes, please don't. You are giving up a lot of the benefits that you get from having this outstanding carbon fiber shaft. So get yourself a quality tip, soft or medium. I do recommend soft. And again, I'm using Victory exclusively right now. There you go, guys. I hope you found this helpful. If you need any additional information, hit me in the comments. Send me an email, FXBilliards@gmail.com. I want to help you guys get the right shaft for your situation. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, shame on you. You're getting this information for free. You might as well hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any videos. I will talk to you soon. Give us a thumbs up. Hit me in the comments. All those good things you're supposed to do. Click on the little bell. I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.